Light transportation vehicles are an important part of any maintenance activity. They are the link between the office and the job site. They transport engineers, supervisors, tools, and other support items essential to any highway project. You, as the driver, can improve the reliability and performance of your vehicle by following the daily maintenance procedures. This videotape will show you the general methods and procedures for operator daily maintenance checks. But more important, it tells you why these procedures are necessary. Each agency has their own specific maintenance activities, and each equipment manufacturer has its recommended procedures. It is your responsibility to ensure that none of the special requirements for your machine are overlooked. Follow along with our driver as he goes through the complete set of daily maintenance activities. Using a check-off list, our driver has divided the daily checks into 4 groups of activities: the pre-start check, the warm-up check, the daily operating check, and the shutdown check. If during these activities problems are discovered, follow your local guidelines to determine corrective procedures. Now, let us look at these activities in detail. The first activity consists of the pre-start check. This is a walk-around inspection for damaged or worn parts and fluid leaks. It also includes checking the vehicle's fluid levels. First, check the air pressure of your front and rear tires. And don't forget the spare tire. You may need it. Be sure all valve stems are equipped with valve caps that are securely screwed down. The vehicle manufacturer should give you the recommended tire pressures for your make and model vehicle. Also, inspect the tires for wear or damages, such as cuts or radial cracks on the side walls. Remove any stones embedded in the tire treads. A worn or defective tire can cause tire failure, which could cause damage to your vehicle and serious injury to you and your passengers. Report any worn or damaged tires to your supervisor. During the pre-start check, be aware of evidence of loose or worn components. If loose or worn components are not taken care of immediately, they can cause serious maintenance and safety problems in the future. As part of your pre-start check, also look for any fluid leaks. Fluid leaks affect the operation of your vehicle. Look under the engine compartment, the transmission, and the differential. If you see any wet spots or stains on the ground, look above the spot to locate its source. Brake fluid leaks may be found by looking or feeling the inside of the wheels. There are many sources of possible leaks in the engine compartment. Several of the hoses in the engine compartment are connected to the air filter canister. Make certain that the complete unit is intact. Inspect the fuel, oil, and vacuum line connections for leaks. Also examine the hoses for any cuts or breaks. Oil filter leaks are most common around the oil filter bowl or cartridge seal. Fuel filter leaks are most common around the fuel filter bowl or connections. In addition, the cooling system should be inspected for any leakage. Carefully examine the radiator and radiator hoses. That completes the check for fluid leaks. But you also need to know if the fluids are at the correct operating levels. In the engine compartment, check the engine oil level. The oil must be within the safe levels indicated on the dipstick. If the oil is near or below the level for safe operation, do not start the engine. Add the proper type and amount of oil until the full level is reached on the dipstick. Look at the radiator coolant level. Make sure that the fluid is at the level required for your particular vehicle, as specified by your supervisor. Add more coolant if needed. Never remove the radiator pressure cap while the engine is hot. as the cap is designed to maintain pressure in the cooling system. This pressure, if released, will force out hot coolant from the radiator, causing possible injury to you. The fan will help control the temperature of the coolant. Proper operation of the fan depends on the fan belts. They should be checked for wear and tautness. Now, inspect the battery. At the battery, look at the fluid levels in all the cells. If your vehicle is equipped with a maintenance-free battery, as in this case, you will be unable to determine battery fluid levels. A quick inspection of the built-in hydrometer will be all that is needed. The green color indicates a charged battery. If this indicator turns dark, as simulated here, have the battery inspected immediately. Notify your supervisor. If your vehicle's battery fluid level can be inspected, use the following procedures. If needed, fill each cell to just above the top of the battery plates with clean distilled water. Never fill the cell to the top of the filler neck or allow the fluid to drop below the top of the battery plates. A word of caution: batteries give off explosive gas. There should be no open flame or smoking permitted around the battery. The next inspection is at the battery cables, clamps, and connections. Make sure they are securely fastened. Finally, inspect them for tightness and corrosion. That concludes our pre-start checks. Before we go on to the vehicle warm-up activities, this might be a good time to stop the videotape and review the inspection steps up to this point. In the last segment, we finished our pre-start check. Now let us go on to the second activity, the vehicle warm-up check. The vehicle warm-up check helps you determine if the vehicle is operating properly before you leave the parking area. Before starting the engine, make sure that the transmission is in neutral or park, that your parking brake is set, and the clutch depressed if so equipped. Turn the key to the on position. If your vehicle has warning indicator lights, these lights should light up at this time. If all the lights are functioning, start your engine. With the engine running, all these lights should shut off within a few seconds. If any of these lights remain on, turn off the engine and have the system checked. The engine needs to be warmed up for a short time. This warm-up period allows oil pressure to build up and lubricate all the moving parts in the engine, while the coolant begins to circulate and heat the engine to its operating temperature. During the warm-up period, you should record the miles or kilometers indicated on your odometer. The reading on the odometer will determine when you need to notify your supervisor that it is time for the vehicle's periodic maintenance. During this warm-up period, listen for unusual noises. If you hear anything irregular, shut the vehicle down and call your supervisor. Your vehicle may also be equipped with gauges. We can look at these gauges individually. Take a close look at these. Does the amp meter read on the positive side? Is the oil pressure in the safe zone? Is the fuel tank gauge functioning? Is the tank full? Is the temperature gauge reading in the safety zone? Since your vehicle operates on public roads, it is important to check the various lights. Turn on the headlights. Now try the high beams. Now try the turn signals. With your helper at the rear of the vehicle, try the turn signals. The brake lights. and the backup lights. This test will make sure that the lights are operating and in good condition. Now check the steering. Do the front wheels respond smoothly when you turn the steering wheel? For our last warm-up check, test the brakes. Be sure that all personnel are clear of the vehicle before making this check. Release the parking brake. Put the vehicle in motion. Then apply the brakes. If they do not hold, or if they need to be pumped, shut down your vehicle and notify your supervisor. All these checks are important to both you and your vehicle. Don't leave the parking area until you have determined that the vehicle is operating as it should, and all these inspections have proven satisfactory. The third daily maintenance activity, the daily operating check, is carried out during daily use. Throughout the day, you should monitor the performance of your vehicle. Be aware of any unusual noises or vibrations. Read your gauges and note any changes in the performance. We can look at these checks individually. Listen to your engine and powertrain. Do you hear anything unusual? Any unusual noises indicate a mechanical defect that could be causing serious damage to your vehicle. Do you feel any excessive vibrations? Read your gauges frequently. Watch pressures and temperature closely. If any gauge indicates a problem, shut down the engine and check the vehicle. Be aware of changes in your vehicle's performance. If you notice any changes, report them to your supervisor. The last daily maintenance activity is your shutdown check. The shutdown check helps prepare your vehicle for the following workday. First, pull into the fueling station and completely fill your vehicle's fuel tank. Filling your fuel tank at the end of the day will minimize the amount of condensation and water buildup in the tank. When doing this, be sure all fueling equipment is clean. This prevents any contaminants from entering the fuel tank. Since these are flammable liquids, do not smoke or have an open flame in the area. Many agencies have designated cleaning areas for their vehicles. If this is true in your case, drive to this area and clean your vehicle. This too helps get it ready for the next day's use. After your vehicle has been cleaned, you should park it in the designated parking area. Put the transmission in park. First gear if you have a standard transmission, and record your odometer reading. Turn off the engine. Now set the parking brake. Roll up the windows and lock all doors. And finally, turn in your vehicle keys to the supervisor in charge or office responsible for the security of your vehicle. That completes the detailed description of the 4 major daily operator maintenance activities. Now, let's review each of these activities again. The first activity is the pre-start check. This is a walk-around inspection. In the pre-start check, you should check the tire pressures. Look for loose or worn parts. Inspect for leaks. And check fluid levels. The second activity is the vehicle warm-up check. These inspections are made from inside the cab while the engine is warming up. Be sure to record your odometer reading. Listen for unusual noises. Read your gauges. test the lights, steering, and brakes before leaving the parking area. The third activity is the daily operating check. The operating check includes listening for unusual noises, monitoring your gauges, and being aware of any changes in the vehicle's performance. The fourth and final activity is the shutdown check. Fill the fuel tank. Clean the vehicle for the following day's use. Park the vehicle on a level surface. Set the parking brake, and lock the vehicle and turn in the keys. This videotape has included general maintenance procedures. Your agency may require that you modify certain activities. There also may be additional safety inspection points. If so, follow your operator guidelines. This concludes the videotape on light vehicles daily maintenance. Following these procedures will help ensure that your vehicle is properly maintained in good operating condition.